Okay, Hare Krishna, dear devotees. Thank you so much for joining today. My humble obeisances to all of you. It's
Hare
nice
Krishna.
today because everyone is on Zoom, so I don't have to look here, there, and otherwise it's like the Zoom is here and then, but I can't see many of the regulars, those who attend class. I can only see Sachikumar Prabhu is here and Xander is here. Others are all, hopefully they'll join. Anyway, we will start.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Adanji are here, Abhijit Prabhu are here.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Mukam karoti vachalam pangam langhete girim yatkripatamaham vande Shri Gurun Dinatarinam Paramananda Madhavam Shri Chaitanya Ishwaram Om Ajnana Timiranthasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhanvitanscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanjana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhana Sudhe Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vansha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Hari Om Tatsat. Hare Krishna. Okay, so we are in chapter 11 today. So 11, we did a few verses last week. So we'll complete chapter 11 and we'll also complete 12 today. So if it goes a little more than half one, please tolerate. We'll try to complete by half one. Because it's more summarizing and there's no new points as such. But anyway, there will always be something new that comes up. So we'll see. So from chapter 11, let's see. Yeah, I told about that verse 36 in chapter 11 last week. Anyone tried reciting that every day or something? No. That's okay. And also, like in the previous ones, in the previous chapters, I had tried to put all the main points in the PowerPoint slide. So actually, all the most of the answers for the questions in the self-study was already there in the slide. I don't know how many of you checked it. As I was thinking, did I cover all the points? And I was going through the questions, and then I saw that most of the answers were there in the slides itself. I don't know if you didn't check and if you read the whole chapter, that's also good, but I'm just telling. Okay, so yes, thank you, Vaibhav. We did till 11:35. Good. So now, thank you. So in 11th chapter, we saw that Arjuna is asking Krishna, please show Krishna. How will people know that you're not just bluffing? There's like everyone tells they are this, they are that, when it is not, it's all about showing off. So can you show actually whatever you explain in the chapter 10 about the opulence? No? You remember chapter names? No. 7. I'll only ask 7 to 11. 7. If you say without looking, that is best. It should be like this, chapter 7, this 8, like that. And then the connection. If these two, at least, if we are able to, that in itself is
7 is knowledge of the absolute,
very good. 8.
Attaining the
attaining the
supreme.
supreme.
Yes. 9.
Most confidential knowledge.
Yes, very good. 10.
The opulence of the absolute.
Opulence of the absolute, very good. 11.
Universal form.
Universal form. 12. Devotional service.
National service.
Yeah, that's the middle section is devotional service. No? So 12th chapter is devotional service. Only 6 names we have to remember. No? So it's not very difficult, but please practice it. At least if we can know that, then we can at least say what is there in the chapter. Like if you know the chapter name of 11 is universal form, then even if you have to make a story, you can make a story. No? Otherwise, if someone asks what is there in chapter 11, okay, I don't know. Or if you're talking about universal form, you don't know which chapter it is, it will help a lot. Okay, so now we are in chapter 11. In chapter 10, opulence of the absolute. And then Arjuna is asking Krishna, please show. And then we saw that there is Sanjaya explaining to Dhritarashtra. And then Krishna tells about himself. And then Arjuna, so we will see now what is happening. 11:30. So these verses we are seeing, what is Arjuna seeing in that? So I think I should be able to do that. Okay. Yes. So the first 8 verses, Arjuna is requesting. And Krishna is describing the universal form. Then Sanjaya describes what Arjuna is seeing. So Sanjaya is telling Dhritarashtra, Arjuna is seeing Krishna's universal form. And then Arjuna is telling, oh, I'm seeing this, I'm seeing that. So he's seeing all those who are all like, you remember that? Seeing all the arms, like thousands of arms, it's covering the whole sky. Sky. And we also discussed that sometimes these hypnotic people will say, I will show you the universal form in your palm, because I asked one of the followers of this god man, I said, but how do they show the universal form? Can they show? And she said, oh, yes, he showed the universal form to one person. He said, oh, see, in the palm of your hand, I will show the universal form. But then here, Krishna is showing the universal form fully in the sky. So you cannot even hypnotize in that way, the illusion, that they cannot create the illusion. So it's filling the whole sky. And then Arjuna is feeling very scared and frightened. So he's asking, who are you? What is your mission? So now, then this 32 to 34, we saw Krishna is telling, this is the place where that Kala portion of Bhagavad Gita, Ishvara, Prakriti, Ishvara, Jiva, Prakriti, Kala, Karma. Kala is being spoken here. Time I am the destroyer of the world. So Krishna is telling that how much ever a person is successful, they cannot be outside of the influence of time. The greatest emperors of the world, anyone great, they all had to succumb to the time, that Kala. So that is 32 to 34. We'll see that once again. And then 35 to 46, Arjuna's prayers. So after seeing the universal form, what is Arjuna praying? Arjuna is the first, he is praying to Krishna's universal form, the greatness of the universal form. And then suddenly Arjuna realizes, oh, Krishna, I thought of you as my friend. And now I realize you are such a great person. I was calling you, hey Krishna, hey Yadava, hey Sagheti. We were eating from the same plate, we were sleeping in the same bed, and I was very casual to you. So please forgive me whatever I have done wrong, or any time when I have taken casual with you. So then he tells Krishna, please, this form, this universal form is very scary. Can I please see you in your Manusham Rupam, in your two-armed form again? Then Krishna comes to four-handed and then to two-handed. And then it is said, Saumyam, Tava Saumyam Janardana. Saumyam means soft, very soft and very sweet form of the two-handed form. And so we can know that actually Krishna's form is two-handed. And that's why in this chapter, Prabhupada tells again and again that this universal form is material. It is not a spiritual form. It is just to show to the material-minded person who cannot think about beyond this materialistic thing, because they cannot think beyond. Krishna is showing this material form, and it is a temporary form. Krishna doesn't reside in this universal form all the time. That was just a manifestation. Okay, so that is 35 to 46, and then 47 to 55, the last verses. Who can see Krishna's two-armed form? So Krishna's most wonderful two-armed form can be directly seen only by pure undivided devotional service. So that's how, again, in the 11th chapter ending also, devotional service is mentioned. And then Krishna explains more about the universal form in 12th chapter. Yes, Sachikumar Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, Mother. In the Srimad Bhagavatam, there is also a description of the hairs of the Lord or the trees and something. I don't remember all the details of it, but is that also the universal form, or is that something different?
Yeah, there is description of that. I don't know exactly which one you're talking about, which chapter you're talking about. Yes, there is. Yes, in I'll tell you where it is. Before Shukadeva Goswami goes to the other incarnations of the Lord, second chapter beginning, or no, second canto beginning, universal form, no, second canto beginning. Yes, there, yes. And there also it is mentioned, it is material. And Prabhupada mentions there that the Shukdev Goswami is bringing from the material point of view and then slowly progressing it to the spiritual. There also it is mentioned, it is the material one universe. And if I remember correctly, Prabhupada tells why Shukdev Goswami is telling, yes, that is also material. Yeah, it's given in the purports. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. When we see the Purusha Sukta, that is a different one, which is from this it came. So that is how it originated. That is not universal form. No?
Mataji,
Yes.
yeah, the different, yeah, sorry, Mataji. The difference between the Arjuna seeing the material form and the Shama Sundar form, in
Yes.
11.51, he uses the word somayam, that he's very beautiful. So he's attracted to that form. It's not just the beauty, he's also attracted, which is the bhakti, right? The devotion.
Correct.
It's without devotion, you cannot find that view very beautiful. It's not, attraction is not allowed, sanctioned by Krishna. Yeah. So,
Yes.
okay.
So it's very difficult to accept the two-handed form unless we have devotion. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. We need to have that ointment of love. Why? Because even once one senior devotee was also telling to one Maharaj that it's easier for me to accept Krishna in the Vishnu form because he has got something which I don't have. Just like in our daily life also, if someone is like in temple, of course, we can see that a person is walking and coming to the temple, no assistance or anything, they're paying obeisances and all, and then we take them as a normal person till we know their opulence. But suppose if someone is coming in their car, like the car and the big car, and then they come to the temple, but they have got security guards with them, and then they have their entourage, and then when they're coming, everyone, oh, please move away, please move away. We automatically give respect. Right.
Mm.
So the same way, when Krishna is showing the universal form, four-handed, it's something which we don't have. So we'll automatically accept them as higher or greater. But then when
Yeah.
Krishna is, yes, Prabhuji.
No, I was just thinking. So the opulence is obviously the material opulence and spiritual opulence. So the materialist, or those who have mixed bhakti or material bhakti, materialism in their vision for Krishna, they are looking at these material, what they can see, as you say, big car, big concha. But in spiritual opulence is prema-based opulence. So you can say, for example, that Krishna, when he lifts one eyebrow, thousands of gopis can faint. You know,
Yes.
it's so beautiful. And that is nothing to do with material opulence. That spiritual opulence we see perverted with material objects or possessiveness in the material world.
Yes. Yeah.
So,
Yeah. The
sorry.
Venu, that is what we will learn later in Nectar of Devotion about the Venu Madhuri. Krishna plays the flute, and middle of the night also the jivas will run and go. Without considering anything, they will run and go to Krishna. The Venu Madhuri. Rupa Madhuri,
Yes.
peacock feather. No God, no one else has got that. And Leela Madhuri, the childhood pastimes. So that is actual, Krishna's opulence, that sweetness. But here we are, yes, okay. So you were giving a comment, Prabhu? Like you were just
Me?
adding the point, Abhijit?
Yeah, no. No, I'm just saying the flip side of beautiful is you have to be attracted to have that as to say Krishna is beautiful. You have to have the attraction, otherwise
Yes.
you can't say. So by the end of the real love is coming through at the end after he's seeing the material, the universal form is actually now I want to see the beautiful form. So that is the real devotion, to see the beautiful with the form that he's attracted, because ultimately he's attracted to the Lord. It's not just the form; he's attracted to the Lord. So that is where the bhakti is coming through.
Bhakti, yes, yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah.
That's why. Thank you. That's why it is ending with
Yeah.
that pure devotional service. That's what we all aim for. That's why it said, like,
Yeah.
if someone shows their opulence, it is very easy to worship them or respect them. But if they are very simple, yeah. So that's why 10th canto explains about Krishna's pastimes. The Damodar pastime is explained in 10th canto and not in the first canto. It could have been the first chapter of the first canto. When the 10th canto is pure nectar, Shukdev Goswami is not telling that, because gradually understanding Krishna's opulences and then showing Krishna as the small boy. Yes, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Yes, thank you. So
The Devramita Swami was saying in the talk recently that you have to get to respect first before you can get to love.
correct.
Otherwise, people are jumping through too much.
Correct.
As you're putting it correctly.
Yeah. It will be like a familiarity, and then we take them light. And that is exactly what Arjuna is also telling here in chapter 11. So he's telling what all he has seen. And so in this, so in the end, like, Lord of Lords, so fears of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You're the primeval Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. So he's asking, who are you? What's your mission? Then Krishna says, and from 32, he is telling, who is he? Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds. And I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain. I don't know how many of you have you heard about this. There was a witness. Krishna made someone the witness of the Mahabharata war. Have you heard of that?
Yes. He was a great soldier and barbaric. I think his name was barbaric.
Yes, barbaric. Yes. So what did Krishna give him as the service? Krishna cut his head, kept the head on top of the mountain, and said, your job is to witness the war. And at the end of the war, Krishna called Barbaric and said, okay, tell me what you saw. What did you witness? And what did Barbaric witness?
He witnessed Krishna everywhere. Krishna is dying. Krishna is fighting. Krishna is killing like each other. So everybody was Krishna.
He didn't see everybody as, he saw the Sudarshan chakras going around and killing everyone. So externally, it looks like one soldier is killing the other soldier, or one king is killing the other king. But what Barbaric saw was, it was only the Sudarshan chakra which was going and killing everyone. So that is here Krishna is telling that it's whatever is happening, it is Krishna who is the doer. Thank you, Vaibhav Prabhu. So Krishna is telling that except for a few Pandavas, everyone who was present on that battlefield would be devoured by him. So why Krishna is telling that? Because Arjuna didn't want to fight, thinking that he is the one who is killing. So Krishna is telling, even if Arjuna didn't kill them, everyone would be killed anyway. So death could not be checked even if he did not fight. In fact, they were already dead. Time is destruction, and all manifestations are to be vanquished by the desire of the Supreme Lord. That is a law of nature. Yes, thank you. Yes, Bhavsindhu Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Trying to understand this more. So, actually, Krishna's Sudarshan Chakra was killing everyone. Does it signify that we are not the doer? That thing, is it?
Time factor. Different? Yes, that is what Krishna is telling in the next one. Here, good, you're the leading to the next thing that Krishna is telling, that Krishna is telling Arjuna, you just fight. They're already put to death by my arrangement. So, Savyasachi can be but an instrument, in the fight. This nimitta matram bhava Savyasachi, that is our life. Nimitta matram means we are just instruments. This we remember always when we go for book distribution. We remember, yes, Prabhupada has already distributed these books. It is already decided who is going to get the book. All we need to do is be there in the street so that we can be the instrument.
So is it only applied to the devotional service, right? Because rest of the things are coming from three modes, and then we are not the instrument, right?
No, then also we are. Yes, see, Krishna can put everything at the same time. For us, if I am in my office, I'm not at home. If I am at home, I'm not in my office. Krishna is not like that. Or if I am eating, say, if I'm eating a sandwich, I cannot eat pizza. But Krishna can do both at the same time. Where we will see, we can see in many situations, we can see how Krishna does two things at the same time. Because Krishna gives everyone the free will, but then Krishna is still in control. Like how Duryodhana and Arjuna, when they went to see Krishna, and they both wanted Krishna to join them. Krishna did join, and they used the free will, but then one got the Narayana army, one got Krishna. So Krishna can put everything together. Krishna can do something fulfilling 100 conditions. Like also in Bhagavatam, first canto, Prabhupada explains that when Ashuddhama Draupadi didn't want to kill Ashwadhama. Arjuna wanted to kill Ashwadhama. How both can be done? So Krishna comes with a plan that both of them are satisfied. In our life also, we find so many times that two things are satisfied by Krishna at the same time. So it's not that we are not under the modes of material nature. Under the modes of material nature, we will do exactly what Krishna wants us to do.
Okay. So, but then we become instrument for our own sins as well, no? Isn't it? I mean,
Free will is always there. Yes. Free will is there. We have the free will. Krishna allows us. I experience it in a very, we can experience it in our own life. I was planning something in a Krishna conscious way. And then one day, for some reason in the morning, I couldn't chant my rounds. And then I got into something, and then I had to agree for what, something else. So I'm thinking like Krishna didn't, for some reason, after a long time morning, I couldn't finish my rounds because I was very sick. And that day, the other thing you can see, so he put me under that. Something Krishna does. So we cannot understand Krishna's way of working from our intelligence, because he can put 10 things at the same time. Our karma is satisfied, or it will work according to our karma, according to the three modes that we are in, but under Krishna's sanction, what Krishna wants to happen. So that's why Prabhupada says this loss of nature is very intrinsic, very, very subtle. We don't know from where it is coming, how it is all interlinked. But yes, it is all.
so that means whatever each jiva is doing in this universe or anywhere,
Yes.
they're all nimittas. Although they are becoming instrument of Lord's plan or not, they feel or not, they are.
Yeah.
But then what's the difference between the karmis and devotees?
Yes, true.
Both are nimittas, right?
Yeah, both are nimittas. Now, see, that is why this Bhrigu is there, no? The Bhrigu Samhitas are the books that they have written. Bhrigu has written all our astrology.
Okay.
You know that there are 4 Bhrigus in India. Yes. Someone has got?
No.
It is said that, I have not been. It is said that when you are going to that village, they don't have any advertisements, nothing. You have to find out the way and you go there. When you reach that remote village, this person who is in that Bhrigus line, who has got this document, he will be standing outside the house waiting for you. And he will tell you exactly what your name is, where you are coming from, who are your parents, everything he can tell you. Because it is all written in his document already. And then he will also tell you exactly what you're going to do. That's astrology, no? That everything what we are going to do is completely predicted. But for the devotee, if you go to the astrologer, they will tell you, according to your karma, this is the one. But I cannot tell you this is what is going to happen for you. So the devotee is outside the clutches of this karmic reaction. That we will study in Srimad Bhagavatam 12th, 10th canto in Brahma's prayers. What's the difference between the life of a devotee and the life of a karmi? Karmi, it is just punishment. Learn in a very difficult way. That's also punishment is also reformation. So the karmi has to get reformation in a very gross way. But for a devotee, it is a desire that is getting purified, not the karmic reaction. Karmic reaction is gone when we chant Hare Krishna. All that need to be cleared is our desire. So that's the difference between the devotee and the karmi. But anyway, both are nimitta matram. Because the devotee is nimitta matram in the spiritual energy of the Lord, it's not like a punishment. It is more like in the classroom, Teacher is teaching us, okay, sitting with us and teaching us, okay, this is how you do this is how you do that. But the karmi, it is like sitting for an exam. They're on their own, have to struggle on their own, all the mental anxiety. That is the difference between the devotee and the karmi. Does that make sense?
Yes, yeah, totally. Thank you. I mean, at least I have understood better understanding now. Thank you, Mataji.
Yeah, but like we cannot understand all the details because that is only from Krishna's, and all this happening when he is aloof. He's telling, I have nothing to do with this world. And then he makes everything happen. We have a great Lord, very powerful God. Okay.
Thank you.
Just quickly, can I give a practical example on that?
Yes, please, Prabhuji.
If there's time. Yeah. So about 3 months ago, it was very bad weather in Scotland, and I was calling someone to come on book distribution, and it was like 2 degrees or something terrible. So we went out on book distribution, and we didn't think 1 hour, no one was coming, no one was interested. And then one person came, and actually he was on a trip to look for a Bhagavad Gita. It was one of those bizarre things. So we were like almost depressed, and then this guy comes, and he gives us like £50 for a Bhagavad Gita. So the way to look at that is that he was going to get the Bhagavad Gita anyway, because he was actually looking for Bhagavad Gita. But Krishna gave us the mercy by putting us in the cold weather there. He thought, why don't you as a devotee get the benefit of this? So with Arjuna, it's like, if Krishna wants to, he can make the soldiers kill Bhishma, and some other way, maybe Yudhishthira will kill Bhishma or some other way. But because Arjuna is a close devotee, he's giving that benefit as part of his bhakti, he's reciprocating, allowing him to be the glorifier, because he can be detached like that. So, I thought that might help it easier for people, and also encourage them to do more book distribution.
Correct. I think I mentioned in the beginning about book distribution. Book distribution, we are always remembering Prabhupada has already distributed the books, we are just instruments. And the same thing, yes, Prabhuji, this very valid point, Lord Chaitanya's mercy. Lord Chaitanya's mercy will get to people. Lord Chaitanya has already predicted in every town and village, the holy name will be sung. The only question is whether we want to be instrument or whether we want someone else to be. If we block it, it's just like water going to the ocean, the Ganges river flowing to the ocean. If there is an obstacle, it just turns and takes the next one. And it goes through the other path. Ganges water is not going to stop because there is an obstacle. So if we become an obstacle for Lord Chaitanya's mercy, the mercy will look for another person to be used as instrument. So for me, I tell always that the only reason I do service is because I don't want to lose my job. It's more like keeping my job.
Yeah. Amazing. Thank you, Bhakti.
Yeah. So then when we approach in that way, we are more grateful to Krishna for every opportunity that we get. Okay. Yes, Brandon?
Hare Krishna, I was just wondering, is there a difference between Krishna's will and his desire? Because, he might, it makes sense what you're saying, that one is in alignment with Krishna's will, whether, they're they're absorbed in the 3 modes of material nature or desiring to serve him. Isn't it that Krishna is not necessarily really pleased with everybody wanting to turn away from him? He wants everyone to come back to him, and that the devotees who want to serve his will, even though they already are serving his will,
Yes, complicated, no? Yes, when we don't do according to what Krishna wants, then we come under the material nature. So actually Prabhupada explains, or Shukdev Goswami also explains in Srimad Bhagavatam, that everyone is favored by the Lord. Person who is not accepting Krishna, who is under the 3 modes of material nature, is also favored by the Lord. Because that is the way they will come back to Krishna. Does that make sense? A devote, yes, Prabhu?
That they'll eventually suffer enough that they'll
Correct.
want to come back.
Yes, suffering is more like, suppose a person is walking, like you are on the second floor of a building in the balcony, and then there is your friend downstairs talking to someone, and you need to get their attention. So first you call them, call by name, they're not listening. You shout, they're not listening. And then what you will do, maybe you will take some small object and throw at them so that they get it. So Krishna making the jiva sufferers like that. What we call as suffering is that. Krishna is telling, turn towards me. If we are able to turn towards Krishna when Krishna calls us, or when Krishna is sending the devotees, when Krishna is giving the scriptures, in that way, if we turn towards Krishna, then work is done. If we are not looking at Krishna with all those, then he will throw the stone at us so that we get a shock. Yes. So even that apparent suffering is actually Krishna calling us. Make sense?
So what you're saying maybe is that for the devotee, it's not even necessarily praying that we can do Krishna's will, rather than we can just become that instrument, and not become an obstacle.
Yes.
Because regardless of whatever we're doing, but Krishna's will can't but be done everywhere. Times far out. That's that's amazing.
So we experience also, that is why devotees' lives are much easier. Because we go by what Krishna wants. And the same way, like sometimes if we take responsible services, like how Abhijit Prabhu was telling about going and doing book distribution in the snow. It's a lot of anxiety. Okay, no one came, people didn't come. But everyone has got a set quota of anxiety in their life. So our option is, if you want to take anxiety for Krishna, spreading Krishna's name, distributing Krishna's books, or I want to take anxiety for, oh, I don't have a job, I don't have this, I don't have that, oh, so many material anxieties. Anxiety has to be there. Our option is if we want spiritual or material. The advantage of spiritual anxiety is, like how he explained, at the end, Krishna will agree what we want to do. He will fulfill our desire. Like if we look at any festival, like Janmashtami festival in the temple or London Rath Yatra, it's not that devotees, everything is so easy. There will be obstacles for Krishna testing how much, giving that credit, like how in Mahabharata we are seeing Krishna is giving the credit to Arjuna. Arjuna's life was not easy, but Krishna gives that credit to him, that you did it. Same way like Prabhupada. Prabhupada said he knows how to make the whole world Krishna conscious in 3 days. Then why he didn't do that? Why did he have to show all those? Otherwise, how we will sing the glories of Prabhupada? At the age of 26, he got one instruction from his spiritual master and he fulfilled it at the age of 70, and he had 2 heart attacks. And anytime when we feel a little low, take Lilamrita, read, and then we are happy. We feel so encouraged. So to show by example, these things are there, not because they are under the rules of material nature. That's a difference. Is that okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhuji. Okay, so Krishna is telling Arjuna, just become an instrument. Not only to Arjuna, Krishna is telling all of us. If one, so this verse, if one is in full Krishna consciousness and his life is devoted to the Lord's transcendental service, he is perfect. That is a summary of this verse. If we want to make our life perfect, devote the life in Krishna's service, what Krishna wants us to do. Then, so Krishna says, don't be disturbed, just fight and kill everyone, don't worry. Now Sanjay is telling what Arjuna did. So Arjuna offered obeisances with folded hands again and again. And then he speaks to Krishna. This is the one which I was mentioning last week. Arjuna Uvacha, Sthane Hrishikesha Tava Prakirtya Jagat Prahurshyatyanurajyate cha Rakshamsi Bhitani Disho Dravanti Sarve Namasyanti cha Siddha Sanka. So two things happening. The world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. So the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage. Demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done. So he is telling that when we hear Krishna, the devotees are happy, but the demons, they cannot stand it. So they run away. Then Arjuna says, it starts glorifying Krishna. You are the original creator. Why then should they not offer their respectful obeisances unto you? So here all the glories, oh limitless one, God of gods, refuge of the universe. You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. So in different ways, Arjuna is glorifying Krishna. Then more, you are the original personality of Godhead, the oldest, the ultimate sanctuary of the manifested cosmic world, the knower of everything, you're all that is knowable. You're the supreme refuge above the material modes. Oh, limitless form, this whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you. So more and more, like each one of these acharyas give more detailed explanation why in that sequence, what does each mean and all those, that now we are limited in time. Then you are the air, you are air, and you are the supreme controller. You're fire, you're water, you're the moon, you're Brahma, the first living creature, and you are the great grandfather. I therefore offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again and yet again. This is Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur explaining, no, that he is telling again and again, I'm offering you obeisances, I'm respectful obeisances, because Arjuna is really overwhelmed seeing this whole universal form. And he's so bewildered that he's telling the same thing again. Then more obeisances to you from the front, from behind, from all sides. Oh, unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You're all pervading, and thus you are everything. See, so many things repeated because of his excitement. Then he starts telling that how he has not behaved properly with Krishna. Thinking of you as my friend, I have rashly addressed you, oh Krishna, oh Yadava, oh my friend, not knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times, jesting as we relaxed, lay on the same bed, or sat or ate together, sometimes alone, sometimes in front of many friends. O infallible one, please excuse me for all those offenses. Happen sometime, no, when we are very close to someone. Sometimes in front of others also we will tell them, or we'll take the, say in the same familiarity. So Arjuna is telling, I have done all this, please forgive me. Now again, he's explaining about that Krishna, you are the father. Now after seeing the universal form, he is realizing, okay, you're the father of this complete cosmic manifestation of the moving and the non-moving. You are its worshipable chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is greater than you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, a Lord of immeasurable power? So in every way, Arjuna is glorifying Krishna. So more as a person also, here in Prabhupada is explaining how Krishna is a person. And how important it is. See, this realization of Arjuna, how important it is to know Krishna in truth. So here Prabhupada speaks about that Janma Karma Chame Divyam. How to get out of the cycle of reincarnation again and again, taking different body, is this evam yo veti tattvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naiti. So if we understand the transcendental nature, if we understand the transcendental nature of Krishna's appearance and his activities, then we don't have to take birth again. So Prabhupada is explaining how important is that we glorify Krishna and we understand Krishna as he is. So now tasmat pranamya pranidhaya kayam. So therefore, what is he telling? And thus I fall down to offer. Now he is getting into so much ecstasy that he is falling down and begging mercy. Please, Krishna, please forgive me. Please give me your blessings. Please give me your mercy. And how he's giving these examples. As a father tolerates the impudence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife. Please tolerate the wrongs I may have done to you. So now Arjuna, really from his heart, he's asking, please forgive me. Then now he's telling, okay, now I'm scared of this universal form. Can you show the two-handed form? So after seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened. Okay, I'm happy to see this, but at the same time, my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O Abode of the universe. Yeah. Tad eva me darshaya devarupam prasida devesha jagan nivasa. Prasida, just be gracious and please show me that form. Then now, like Prabhupada is explaining how that Narayana form, okay, the universal form, the big one, then there is Narayana form, but actually the original form is Krishna. And when we see two-handed form of Krishna, the original Shyam form has all these. That is why we don't separately worship Vishnu, we don't separately worship Rama, because all these forms are there in Krishna. That's why this chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, when we chant, what happens? All the incarnations are worshipped. Because Krishna is the avatar, or Krishna is the avatari. Krishna is avatar or Krishna is avatari?
Avatari, I will say.
Avatari, yes. Krishna is the source of all incarnations. So when we worship Krishna, we don't have to separately worship Lord Rama or Narsimha. But then if our connection is with Narsimha, we worship Narsimhadev. But actually, if we worship Krishna, everyone is included in that. So that's why all of these forms are one with Krishna. Therefore, Arjuna requests to see his four-handed feature. It's not that if Arjuna is asking to see the four-handed form or the two-handed form, then it doesn't mean that he's not seeing the universal form. Universal form is already included in that. Is that okay? Yeah. Are you all with me? Yes? Okay. Yeah, so first he asked for the four-handed form with helmeted head, the club, the wheel, conch, lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. Then he asked for so Krishna shows him the first this first universal form. Then the next one is in the next verse. Okay, this is 48. Yeah, now. Oh yeah, this is. So because, okay, here Prabhupada is explaining in this verse that Supreme Personality of Godhead said, so Krishna is saying, I've shown you by my internal potency, the supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence. But before this, actually Krishna has shown the universal form before. Do you know when was that?
Um, uh, when Krishna went as a Shanti Doot and Duryodhana tried to like capture him.
Yes, very good. When the Krishna went as a messenger to the Dhritarashtra's assembly, and Duryodhana said, I'm going to bind you. And then Krishna said, okay, bind. And then he showed the universal form. Then why does Krishna say, no one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of glaring effulgence?
Because that form was four-handed form, but this form which Krishna has shown is much more than that.
Very good. There was more arms there also. I don't think it was four like there were more, but it was partial. It was not the full. This is the complete universal form is what Krishna showed to Arjuna. The other one, Prabhupada says, was only partial. He didn't show. He just wanted to scare Duryodhana and tell him that, see, you don't think that you can catch me. For that, he showed a little bit. But the full one, Krishna showed to Arjuna. Okay, very good. Then Krishna is telling who can see. We cannot see this neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances can I be seen in this form in the material world. What is the message of this? Is that we can see Krishna only by Krishna's mercy, not our endeavor. And that is why when we are chanting Hare Krishna, our mood is, what is our mood while chanting Hare Krishna? Today, I am going to chant so attentively that I will see Krishna. Is that how we approach the holy name? No. We approach the holy name as, what is the mercy Krishna is going to give me today? We can make out when a person is chanting in an achiever mode and when a person is chanting in a receiver mode. So we approach the holy name as a receiver and not an achiever. Achiever was like, Hare Krishna, 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 like, where are you, Krishna, where are you, Krishna, like that, no? Very passion kind. Then we will see devotees who are chanting in the mode of goodness, just receiving, yes, Krishna, Hare Krishna, like we hear Prabhupada chanting, no? So soft, so nice, like as if like once Purnachandra Maharaj was speaking about this holy name, how we should chant. And then he actually enacted like how a beggar in the street, how that beggar is, so, like when we see some beggars, they're so like begging, really begging, that we don't see that so much now. But otherwise, like real beggars, they're like really begging, please give me something I have not eaten. We see like that. No? So that is the way we beg to Krishna. Please, Krishna, please give me mercy. When we chant with that attitude, it will become Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. Instead of Hare Krishna, 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 like that. So that's why Krishna is telling here that through other ways, we cannot achieve Krishna. All we can do is wait for Krishna's mercy. So what are we doing by our endeavor? Is that we are telling Krishna that we are really sincerely desiring to receive Krishna's mercy. That is all that we are telling. Not that by my endeavor I can, we are reading Bhagavatam every day. Why? Because I read Bhagavatam, I study Bhagavatam, I want to learn, or Bhagavad Gita. That's why I was telling that, Bhakti Sastri is not to get all the questions right in the exam. That is a byproduct. The main thing is to understand Krishna, know what Krishna has said, so we know Krishna. Okay. Then so Krishna is telling, you have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished. My devotee, be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire. Krishna is feeling like that softness to Arjuna, telling that now don't be scared. Then Sanjaya is telling that Ityarjunam, okay, now Sanjaya is just telling Dhritarashtra what Arjuna was saying. So he's telling, Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real four-armed form and at last showed his two-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Bhutva Puna Saumya Vapur Mahatma. The Saumya Vapu, the beautiful form, the great beautiful form showed again. So Krishna's, Prabhupada is telling how when Krishna appeared as son of Vasudeva and Devaki, how did he appear first? He showed the four-handed form. Then Devaki said, please don't show this four-handed form. Then Kamsa will know that you are have come to kill. So please be like a normal child. And then he becomes this normal child, with two hands. So same way, Krishna knew that Arjuna also was not so interested in four-handed form. He just wanted to see that Manusham Rupam. So Arjuna is telling, Drishtvedam Manusham Rupam Tava Saumyam Janardana Idanim Asmi Samvritta Sacheta Prakritim Gataha. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, Oh Janardana, seeing this human-like form, so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind and I am restored to my original nature. So Arjuna is feeling very peaceful that he has seen the two-handed form of Krishna. So even for the devotee, even if they see the two-handed form of Krishna, they still know that Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Earlier we have seen when Krishna comes in this material world as two-handed form, Krishna says, the fools deride me when I come in the human form. But then the devotees understand, yes, even if it is two-handed form, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Now, the conclusion of the chapter, Krishna is telling the importance of pure devotional service. So first Krishna says, this form of mine you're now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form, which is so dear. So from here, the Krishna is explaining here this verse, Avajananti ma mudha manushim tanamashre. He is not visible to foolish persons who deride him. Krishna is special. Krishna's body is spiritual, even if he comes in the material world. It's like what is the example that Prabhupada gives for Krishna coming to the material world and not being affected? What is a material world compared to?
Prison house.
Prison house, yes. So how was Krishna coming to the prison house compared to?
Like he's like the warden or the superintendent, and we're like the criminals in the prison house.
Yes, we are in the criminals, and when Krishna comes, he is like the king coming. Sometimes king decides to give mercy to the prisoners and comes to the prison. Just because the king came to the prison doesn't mean he became a prisoner. He's not part of the prison at all, but he comes just to give mercy. Even when the king comes to the prison, he's still the king. So the same way, when Krishna comes to the material world, he is not bound by the rules of the material world. He is still Krishna, because he never comes under the control of the material energy. Instead, Krishna says, Maya Dhyakshena Prakriti, under his supervision, Maya is working. So if Krishna says that when he is coming to the material world, he is still under the internal potency of the Lord. Yes. So the conclusion is that although to see the universal form of Krishna is very, very difficult and not possible for anyone and everyone, it is still more difficult to understand his personal form as Shyamasundara. Compared to understanding the Shyamasundara form of Krishna and the universal form of Krishna, it's easier to know the universal form because it's still material. And it is something which we can appreciate and admire. Then Krishna is telling, Naham Vedairna tapasa, the form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes. Remember, first Krishna gave, I will give you transcendental eyes to see this universal form. So now Krishna says that what you're seeing cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am. This is also, this is glorification of devotional service by negation. No, not by this way, not by this way, not by that way, but by devotional service. So these are all negative ways. You cannot, you cannot understand Krishna just by studying Vedas. Brahma Samhita explains, Vedas, what is the Brahma? Vedeshu durlabham adurlabham atma bhakta. Vedeshu durlabham. You can learn all the Vedas, but durlabham. Very rare to find Krishna there, understand Krishna. Adurlabham atma bhakta. Adurlabham means easy to obtain. Atma bhakta, his own devotee, it's very easy. So now the last two verses is the positive way, positively telling about devotional service. Bhaktya tvananyaya shakya. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. So in the previous two verses, that was with negation. Now it is positive. Undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mystery of understanding. Yes, Sachikumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna Mother, I was just wondering if we can ask people who are not on mute, if they're not speaking, if they could go on mute. It's a bit distracting.
Okay. Okay, I think all are. Okay, yes, Prabhuji, thank you. So here again, devotional service and Krishna as a Supreme Lord. Why such long purport? Because these verse, we saw earlier also, that in these kind of verses, Prabhupada quotes from other scriptures to support what Krishna is telling. Because we cannot say that, suppose we are telling someone that only by undivided devotional service can we understand Krishna. Only through undivided devotional service, Ananya Bhakti, is the only way to understand Krishna. And then they ask you why? Because Krishna says that in the Bhagavad Gita. That is one way of referencing. But now here, Prabhupada gives us points from many different Shastras. How different the methods of worship and everything, that how in different different scriptures, how it is given, so that is the backing. So that's why here Prabhupada quotes from the Upanishad here, which is Ashvetashvatara Upanishad, then there is Brahma Samhita, Gopal Tapani Upanishad, how Krishna is a person, Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, he is worshipable. So like that, he is then Brahma Samhita, Ishvara, Parama Krishna, that how Krishna is the ultimate. It is given through different references. So if we are telling Krishna is the supreme, and worship of Krishna is the most supreme, it's not that because Krishna tells that. It's not just because Prabhupada tells us like that, or it is because Lord Chaitanya, oh, you are a follower of ISKCON, that is why you are telling like this. We have all heard that. You are a follower of Hare Krishna, so you will say Krishna is supreme. I am a follower of, whatever, some Baba, something. So I will say that person is supreme. No. We are not sentimental. We have reasons why we do this. Okay. So, yes, this form may seem wonderful. So the material universal form and other forms may seem wonderful to persons who are involved in elevating themselves by fruitive activities, but to persons who are engaged in devotional service, the two-handed form of Krishna is the most dear. And they will engage in pure devotional service. And then the last verse, Krishna is very kindly, we can hear Krishna here. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activities and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being, he certainly comes to me. The power of pure devotional service. If we want to perfect our life, going back to Krishna, only way is devotional service. Okay, then long purports. So here in this chapter, even though Krishna is showing the universal form, this is I told you the last paragraph, if you read, that is a summary. So what is a summary of this chapter? Can someone please read?
In summary, the universal form of Krishna, which is a temporary manifestation, and the form of time, which devours everything, and even the form of Vishnu, four-handed, have all been exhibited by Krishna. Thus, Krishna is the origin of all these manifestations. It is not that Krishna is a manifestation of the original Visvarupa or Vishnu. Krishna is the origin of all forms. There are hundreds and thousands of Vishnu, but for a devotee, no form of Krishna is important but the original form, two-handed Shama Sundara. In the Brahma Samhita, it is stated that those who are attached to the Shama Sundara form of Krishna in love and devotion can see him always within the heart and cannot see anything else. One should understand, therefore, that the purport of this 11th chapter is that the form of Krishna is essential and supreme.
Thank you, Prabhu. So this is so even though we learn all about universal form, the summary is that Krishna's two-handed form is a supreme. So that is the end of the 11th chapter. So we will now, here we saw, okay, Krishna's actual form is a Shamsundara form. And now we will learn from the 12th chapter, devotional service. What is the Krishna talks about who is dearest. In 9th chapter, we saw that Krishna is telling that, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu. Yes, we'll have a break now. I just thought I'll start it and then I'll. Yes, Sachikumar Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Mother. Maybe you were just doing that. I was thinking about the segue from chapter 11 to chapter 12.
Yes, I will. Yeah, I thought you were asking for a break. Chapter 12. Okay, so yeah, we will discuss about the connection, definitely. And I just wanted to start with this and then start chapter 12, and then we'll take a break and then we'll come together again. Okay, and then we will do. So yes, now we can see this is a direct connection, because chapter 11 ended by saying that devotional service to the Supreme, that Krishna is the main thing. Like he's telling here, this this not with charity, not with other things, only by pure devotional service. Only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am. So now Krishna is teaching in the 12th chapter what is this undivided devotional service. What are the different categories of devotional service, and what is the gradation of different two things. Two sections are there. We will see in chapter 12 what are the two sections and what he teaches. And the main thing in the chapter 12, the devotional service, are the characteristics of pure devotional service. If someone is there who is telling they are doing pure devotional service, what are the symptoms of that person who is doing devotional service? All that is explained in the 12th chapter. So we'll take 10 minutes break. Is that okay? 10 minutes break. So time is like 11:43. So by 11:53 we can be, before 12 we can come. Okay, thank you so much. So we'll meet again in 10 minutes. Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. In the 9th chapter, Krishna says, Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu, I'm equal to everyone. So there is no one that Krishna doesn't like in this world. But then Krishna can have someone whom he likes more, whom he likes the most, the dearest of everyone. It's only superlative. Like I was thinking, like when we say any kirtan is ecstatic. Any kirtan that we attend is nice and ecstatic. There is no bad kirtan, because the holy name is so good. But then if you're in a kirtan like some nice devotee singing, then it is more ecstatic. Then you're sitting in a kirtan with Madhav Prabhu, and we don't know how hours are going because it's very ecstatic. And then if you are attending kirtan, like say His Holiness Mahavishnu Maharaj, there is no thinking even of taking prasadam or taking rest or nothing every time. So much energetic, so much ecstasy. So every kirtan is ecstatic, but then these are varying levels of ecstasy. So the same way everyone is dear to Krishna, but then more dear, most dear. There is no one more dearer than this person. Very dear, very, very dear. So it goes in that way. So we'll see in this chapter, 12th chapter, how Krishna speaks about these different kinds of devotees. Few sections, 3 sections are there. We will see those. Okay, so this chapter 12 is called Bhakti Yoga. Chapter 12 is called Bhakti Yoga. So this, I saw that one question in chapter 12 is name the chapters. 7 to 12. So that's one of the questions in the Swadhyaya self-study. So chapter 12 is Bhakti Yoga, devotional service. Now, what is the connection between 11 and 12? So when Arjuna saw the universal form and heard about the Lord's that great opulences, which is all impersonal, he wants to hear about devotional service. And also Arjuna want to clarify his position as a devotee, because there are different categories of devotees: who is worshipping impersonal form of Krishna, who is worshipping the personal form of Krishna. So Arjuna is asking to say whether the impersonal form, what is the difference between the impersonalist and a devotee, the jnani and the devotee. And then also Arjuna wants to clarify his position as being attached to the personal form of Krishna, to the universal form, or the unmanifested Brahman. So now here, why he wants, because like we discussed, some people may think that this universal form of Krishna is the greatest. So here Arjuna is asking Krishna to clarify more. What is exactly greater? Is it a devotee? And then whether it is a two-handed form or the universal form. So simple chapter, only 20 verses, as opposed to 11th chapter, which is 55 verses. Devotional service is very simple if we keep it simple.
Mataji, what is Janani in that, in this
So
slide?
Jnani, this one, no?
Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Jnani. Yeah, the Jnani. Jnani is the impersonalist, no? Who Jnani means, see the three categories you have learned, no? Karmi, Jnani, and the Bhakta. In the introduction, Prabhupada mentions Karmi is the fruitive worker. Jnani is for them, it is the ultimate, is to see the Paramatma feature of the Lord. That the karmi is thinking of fruitive, more sense gratification. And at one point, you will renounce everything. That is the jnani. And you just want to know about Krishna. And then when you know about Krishna more, then the more we know, all we want to do is see Krishna, serve Krishna. Then we become a devotee. So that is how the sequence comes. You get, first, we work hard. This life of any person in this material world is like that. Maybe one lifetime, more lifetime. One person is working hard, so I get money, I get a secure job, I have a family, everything is karmi, the materialistic. And then once everything is done, you got your dream job, there is nothing more in your career that you can achieve. And in family, you have family, the children are all going to the nice universities and they're getting married, everything. And then now what in life? Then they come to the realization that, okay, actually this is not, there is something more. And they start searching for more by reading more. And that is when they think, okay, this is all not needed. What I have been striving for is not the actual one. And they just want to seek, they want to know more about Krishna. And when they start knowing more about Krishna, the more they know about Krishna, then they will engage in devotional service. That is the bhakta. So the karmi, jnani, and the bhakta. So this is chapter 11 and 12. The next one is just small chapter, 3 sections.
So can we say like the Bhakta is the last stage, like after
Yes,
Jnani?
yes. Yeah. So what is the difference between, so what is the highest that the karmi can achieve? What realization of the Supreme?
So
The introduction has that, yes.
The
Brahman realization.
Brahman realization, yes, Brahman realization. And Jnani?
Paramatma.
Paramatma, very good. And Bhakta?
Shri Krishna Bhagavan.
Bhagavan. Nice. So again, the three understanding of Sat Chit Ananda. What does a karmi realize? What feature of the Lord in the Sat Chit Ananda? What does Sat mean? Ishvara
Knowledge, is it?
Paramakrishna, Ishvara Paramakrishna, Sat Chit Ananda Vigraha. So what is Sat?
Knowledge.
Sat is eternal. That is Brahman, no? Eternal. It's imperishable. There's no form. There's no knowledge. It's just light has no knowledge, no? It's just eternal. It stays there. That's all. So when we know the eternal feature of the Lord, that is Sat feature. And that is the highest of Karmi. Karmi realizes only the Sat feature, which is eternal. That God is eternal. That they accept. Then the Jnani understands. What does a Jnani understand?
Paramatma.
Yes, Paramatma. In the Sachidananda, what does a Jnani realize?
Chit.
Mm.
Chit.
Only Chit?
And Ananda, not Vigraha.
No.
Wait, did you say Jnani? Huh?
Yeah, so Jnani understands the Sat and Chit,
Ah,
eternal and knowledge. So the Paramatma is eternal, all-pervading, and also the knowledge. Paramatma in one person can understand beyond. That we will learn in the next chapter, the 13th chapter. Then the Bhakta, what does a Bhakta understand?
Brahman.
Huh?
All three, Sat, Chit, and Ananda.
Yes, Sat, Chit, and Ananda. That is why it is complete. A devotee understands that Krishna is eternal, full of knowledge, and full of bliss. So that is why only Bhakta gets that bliss part of Krishna. The Jnani has knowledge, but they're not happy. Yes, Abhijit Prabhu.
Mataji, sorry. If you're reading Bhagavatam,
Yeah.
which one of the three are you in? If you're reading Bhagavatam regularly,
Sachidananda.
see all three because that is act of bhakti.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because a Bhakta includes all three. See, that is why if you read Bhagavatam, we have all the knowledge in the world also. You will know how the universe is created. And we'll know the different yoga systems. We'll know pure devotional service. We'll know what are the different manus. There's no knowledge which is not there in Bhagavatam. So a Bhakta will know all three.
So as we are in a position of devotee,
Yeah.
are we in a position of bhakta? Like
Yes.
trying to be. Okay.
Yeah, correct. Practicing devotee. That's why we call ourselves practicing devotee. We have not yet reached there to fully understand that Sat, Chit, and Ananda, but we are there. Prabhupada says we are the raw mango. One day we will become ripe and we will experience it fully. Yeah. Anyway, we will cover these in the next chapters, chapter 13, 14. All these chapters, chapter 13 mainly speaks about these. Okay, so chapter 12, breakdown. 3 sections, 1 to 7. Bhakti is superior to impersonalism. So Arjuna is specifically asking Krishna, which is better? Someone who worships your impersonal feature, or you're worshipping you as a person? So Krishna tells that impersonal feature, klesho adhikadara cheshta, avyakta sakta chetasam. So more difficulty to worship this impersonal feature is very difficult. We also experience, no? If you're talking to someone who have never met before, it's very difficult because you don't know who the person is. And then when we meet the person later on, we'll say, oh, it's so nice to put a face to the sound. Have you said that or have you heard like that? Huh? When you see the person, meet the person, then after that, when you're talking, it is different. So impersonal is not easy. There's no relationship in the impersonal feature. But the personal, the feature, the path of devotion, it's easy, much easier because we know Krishna, easier to love Krishna. And Krishna also reciprocates. Not even like if we have, say, we like a very big football player. We really like that person. We are hosting a party to glorify the football player. But the football player will not even come to know about it, that we are doing all this. So there's no reciprocation. But here we just offer a leaf to Krishna. Krishna reciprocates 100 times. As soon as we do a little service to Krishna, Krishna takes charge of delivering the devotee. That we saw in the previous chapter, no? In 9th chapter, we saw how Krishna takes charge. As soon as we do a little service, Krishna says, yes, now you're coming back to me is my responsibility. Then he sends devotees to more and more devotees to us, prasadam and different, and then from within he will start guiding us as Chaitya Guru. Externally, we will have the Diksha Guru and many Shiksha Gurus to guide us. Then Krishna takes responsibility. So in that way, this path of devotion is easier. And then from 12.8 to 12, we will see all the progressive stages. Like, so Krishna is not telling that you have to follow this path in this particular way. Krishna is very kind. He gives us options. The best, what is the best? Continuously fixing one's mind and intelligence upon him. Always focused on Krishna. How many of us can say we can do it? That continuously fixing one's mind and intelligence. I can do that except when I am watching Facebook, except when I am watching football. So this continuously fixing one's mind and intelligence is not very easy. It takes a long time. Then Krishna is telling, if you cannot do that, it's okay. If you cannot do that, that's fine. But at least practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. So we want to follow. We want to reach that stage of continuous devotional service. So we follow these regulative principles. I will not watch Facebook for other things. I will watch Facebook for Krishna-related things. So we put that regulative principles there. Some principles are there. Or the 4 regulative principles that we follow. Krishna, I like to eat nicely, Krishna, but I won't eat meat. I won't eat fish, but I will eat pizza. I'll eat vegetarian pizza. So we practice the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. If that is also not possible, then whatever we are doing, that work, we surrender to that work to Krishna. I am doing this work but I will give, I will do this work for Krishna. We have seen people like that, no? I am a, what do you say? I am a graphic designer. I cannot do all this following regulative principles and all is not my thing, but I can create a poster for you for the temple. That is working for Krishna, surrendering one's work to Krishna. If we cannot follow the principles and all this, if that is also not possible, give the result of the work. Like I am working some job, but then I'll give some money. Like how we have, sometimes the life patrons, they are not devotees, but they just give some money. If that is also not possible, cultivate meditation or knowledge. Just read Bhagavad Gita. At least Krishna is saying if nothing is possible, do Bhagavad Gita reading at least. At least know about Krishna. So this is progressive. Progressive from 12 to 8 actually. 12 is the lowest, then 11, 10, 9, 8 like that. And then the last section is qualities that enter. This is beautiful, 13 to 20.
Sorry, can I ask a question?
Yeah. Yes. Is that I didn't know who it is anyway. Is it okay? I thought I'll just finish this and then we'll.
Okay, thank you.
Is that okay? Yeah. What is this HB?
Harini?
Oh, Harini. Okay. I didn't know. I was thinking what's HB. Yes. So I'll just finish this, Harini. 12, 13 to 20, qualities that endear one to Krishna. So Krishna is telling, what are the qualities that will make one dear to Krishna? This is very powerful. These verses 12, 13 to 20. Any time when we have any of the negative qualities, we just read this and say, oh, if I do that, I am not being dear to Krishna. So what do I want? I want to keep that bad quality, or should I be dear to Krishna? So we'll see those qualities from 13 to 20. One who faithfully follows a path of devotional service, making Krishna the supreme goal, is very dear to him. So we'll see all what Krishna says, who's dear, more dear, most dear, dearer, or very, very, very dear, very dear, very, very dear. We'll see all this. Okay. Yes, Harini, sorry. Yeah, what's your question, Harini? You're muted if you're. Harini?
Sorry, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. I'm not sure if you're going to come back to that point, but I was just about when you talk
Can't hear.
progressive stages of devotion. Is it the last stage compared to Shishtakam, the last verse, that actually we are on the level, at the point that we just surrender everything to Krishna, whatever he wants to do with us, and how to actually achieve that stage?
You're telling us 12.8. This what is in 12 point. We will go, see, this is just a summary. We'll go through all the verses in detail, at least the translation. Okay, so you are telling this one lives within Krishna by continuously fixing one's mind and intelligence upon him is the last verse of Shikshashtakam.
No, I was just asking if the last verse of Shishtakam is the last stage of devotion that we can achieve.
Yes, definitely.
And how to do that also. How to come to that.
How to come to that stage. It's progressive. It's a process. For Krishna consciousness, we have to give time. If we follow what Prabhupada has said, if we follow the process that Prabhupada has given us, like chanting, reading, doing devotional service, not committing Vaishnava Aparadh, one day we will reach there. If we just follow, we will. This chanting Hare Krishna in itself is powerful to get us to that stage. Actually, we can even, while chanting, we can implement that. Krishna, if you reveal to me or if you don't reveal to me, you are still my worshipable Lord. We experience it sometimes in our chanting. Sometimes we feel Krishna, very nice. Sometimes we just don't feel Krishna. And does it happen to anyone like that? So then this last verse of Shikshashtakam can be applied. Krishna, even if you don't reveal to me, you are still my worshipable Lord, and I will continue to chant the holy name. Okay, so anyway, we will see the when we come. Yes, Roji.
I was just going to say something mischievous. There are performance-enhancing drugs that you can use in this process, and one of them is to constantly try and give mercy to other people, and which will accelerate your aim towards that She's stuck in more.
Yes.
12.8, you know. Yep.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, by giving when I started Krishna consciousness, I was asking one Prabhupada disciple, I'm so scared I will lose it. So then she told me, Prabhupada said, if you don't want to lose it, give it to others. So I said, okay. So that's why I said, I'm more keeping my job by whatever I am doing because I don't want to lose it. So then we are preaching more for our own Krishna consciousness than for others.
You want to
And
be the
then,
servant of the servant of the servant. That's
yes,
where we want to be.
not even that way. I'm just thinking, okay, when I am telling Bhagavad Gita, I am learning. That's all, finished.
Yes. Yeah.
The more I used to do that at one point in my life when I was really, whatever I'm doubtful about, I just keep telling the same thing to everyone. If I'm thinking, is Krishna really reciprocating? Is Krishna really protecting me? I'll tell everyone, Krishna really protects his devotee. Prabhupada says Krishna protects his devotee. In Bhagavad Gita, Krishna says he will definitely protect his devotee. In the process, I am continuously hearing. And that is the advantage of giving classes, because if you're attending the class, we can be switched off. When we are talking, we cannot be switched off. We cannot have a mind thinking something else. So yeah.
In Bhagavad Gita, it says there's no one more dear to Krishna than you.
Yeah.
Giving Bhagavad Gita class. So that's great mercy, isn't it?
Yes. So yeah, so that's what, we're just thinking, okay. And also, like, if we look at our life, what is there in life other than this? Other than preaching, actually. What else can we do in our life? What is the meaning in our life other than preaching? What else can we do?
Well, I think that Kesha Swami recently on a talk was saying that we have to think bigger than we believe we can think. Krishna will help us and the more risks we take. Prabhupada took big risks for Krishna. That is where he got ultimate mercy. So we have to push our comfort zones, speak to people on the street that we don't necessarily want to be comfortable speaking to, and go to places we don't want to be comfortable. He didn't want to go to Skid Row in New York, but he went there. So for Krishna. So that's showing love, right? Taking risks is showing love when you risk something for someone. So
we take risks we take risks so that we get more mercy from Krishna. See, somehow or the other, at the end of our life, we want to see Krishna. We want to see Prabhupada. At the end of our life, we should be able to tell Prabhupada, what you have given me, I try to utilize the maximum. That's all.
But Harini Mata.
Sorry, Prabhu.
Harini Mataji, this question of how to get to that stage is really about you have 24 hours in a day. How much mercy can you give in 24 hours? How many people? And the more you do that, the faster you'll develop, I think. But anyway, that's just, I'm just being mischievous. So.
Yeah, that's why we have a bona fide spiritual master who will guide us. He will tell us, do this, do that. Whatever is our nature, accordingly he will engage us in service. Yeah, so if you have to reach that stage, if you want to understand the purport of all the Shastras, the only thing we need to do is follow the instructions given by the spiritual master, and then we can achieve that very easily. No, thank you. Okay, so
make one point that you made at the beginning, which is you were saying that when you meet someone and you say it's nice to put a face to the name, so like as in face to face is better than let's say over the phone, this personal way. So Krishna is very kind. He's offering both the attributes between impersonal way and the personal way. You take your pick. But the majority of people, from my understanding, is going to the impersonal way. This doesn't seem to make logical sense. Like from a layperson's point of view, or from a child kind of mindset, which I think I have, you just think, well, the personal way is easier and more fun. I mean, why would you want a conversation with someone over the phone when you, let's say, your neighbor, and you can go around and get face to face? So why do most people go for the impersonal way?
Is it a question, Harini?
Yeah, it's a question of it.
Oh, okay. Who's asking? I think my
Lion.
okay. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So why people? Your question is why most of the people go to impersonalists?
Yeah, like we're seeing the connection between 11 and 12, and then you gave the example that sometimes when you meet someone and you put the face to the name, then you say, it's so nice to put the face to the name. Now it seems to make more sense. There's relationship there, whereas without that, there's no impersonal way, there's no relationship.
Yes.
You know, it's just some
Yeah.
knowledge and some information.
Yeah.
So if Krishna is kind, he's giving option for both. Take your pick. He's not forcing in either direction. One is better, just basic level of intelligence, or from a child's perspective, that I prefer ice cream from medicine. So then why would you take the other one?
Yeah, why do we take the other one? Yes, what is the reason for taking the impersonal path? Because we want to do our own way. Because in the impersonalist doesn't take help from Krishna.
But it's hard and boring.
Yes, it is. But then my ego is satisfied.
But you may not achieve the result.
No, you won't
devotion,
achieve. Yes, we won't achieve the result. We won't achieve the perfection, nothing. And it is so troublesome.
They're just being absolutely stupid. Like, we can look at people that are wasting their lives drinking, smoking, doing these things, or in prison, or what have you. But this studying and being academic and sitting in university is more stupid.
Exactly.
Doesn't make any sense. But yet, stupid you'd expect a small proportion of the population to be, not the majority. So this seems confusing.
Yeah, that's the same thing. Like, actually, there shouldn't be any homeless person here because the government is providing all facilities. But the question is whether do they take the help? They don't take the help, so they suffer. The same thing with mental health. The government tries to give so many help for this mental health thing. In the universities, there are people who are specifically designated to take care of the students' mental health. But how many students go there? But even if they go, yes, Prabhuji.
No, after my people.
Okay, so even if they go there, I was telling, even if the student goes to the mental health advisor, we went to an university and there we were talking to this mental health or whatever advisor, and then he was telling how much mental health problem he is going through. So even if the student goes to that person, it is not that they will get anything, but still the students doesn't take care of any facilities that they are getting. So the same way, when we extrapolate it bigger, then we will see that even if I am interested in spiritual life, but I want to do it my way, in my own endeavor, not by taking help from Krishna. Devotee means we beg for the mercy. The impersonalist cannot pray for some help. It's what they are doing. And they want to be more like, want to become God, being emerging into the Brahman. So it's more envious nature. I want to be God. I don't want to get help from God. Yes, Narayana. Oh, Narayana. I am God, you are God. So that is the reason why they cannot take up devotional service, because they don't want to take help. And they miss out really badly. They miss the whole thing, the happiness in Krishna consciousness. But that's why they cannot be happy. The Satchit Ananda, the Ananda no one else gets other than a Bhakta. And that's why people wonder how Hare Krishna people are so happy. We ask, like if someone asks you, what did you feel when the first time you saw someone with the tilak? What was your first thought? What did you think when you saw the devotee for the first time? You thought they were crazy, but you wanted to be like them. Somewhere inside you're thinking, they're so happy. I want to be happy like them, but I don't want to do what they are doing. Yeah, that's what we think. So this bliss that we achieve in Krishna consciousness, that Ananda part of Sachidananda, no one else can get it. No karmi, no jnani, no one will get it. That is only for a bhakta, only for a devotee, this bliss is there. So they want, the karmi and the jnani wants to experience the bliss, but they don't want to follow what we are doing. They can't, the karmi cannot leave the sense gratification. And they still want to be, oh, I still like all this. I still like my chicken. I still like, they cannot leave. And the jnani the same way. Jnani, we will see so many people coming to Krishna consciousness, many years in Krishna consciousness, they will read Bhagavad Gita, they cannot chant Hare Krishna. And that is why if someone is coming to Krishna consciousness but not chanting Hare Krishna, days are just numbered because they cannot remain in Krishna consciousness. Because they're still in the mental level, they have not come to the spiritual level. That chanting Hare Krishna is very important. Otherwise, it doesn't work. Okay?
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Prabhu. So now these 3 sections, let's see. Okay, so chapter 12. So devotional service starts with a question. So we'll see verses 1 to 7. First, Arjuna is asking, which are considered to be more perfect? Those who are always properly engaged in your devotional service, or those who worship the impersonal Brahman, the unmanifested? So that's the first question. So here Prabhupada gives the summary that we find in this chapter, that of the different process of realization for the absolute truth, Bhakti Yoga, devotional service, is the highest. If one at all desires to have the association of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he must take to devotional service. So that is what is explained. And those who worship the Supreme Lord directly by devotional service are called personalist. Then if someone is engaging themselves in meditation on the impersonal Brahman, they are called impersonalists. Arjuna is asking which is better. There are different ways to realize absolute truth, but Krishna indicates in this chapter that Bhakti Yoga or devotional service to him is the highest of all. It is the most direct, easiest means for association with the Godhead. So now Prabhupada is giving all the different levels of transcendentalist, what we discussed, the Karmi, Jnani, Yogi. And here, so 2 classes of transcendentalist, impersonalist and the personalist. So Arjuna is asking which is better. So clarifying his position, because he is attached to the personal form of Krishna. So he is a personalist. So he is getting confirmation of Krishna that personalist is the greater one. So then the 2 to 7, Krishna is answering that. First he said, those who fix their minds on my personal form and are always engaged in worshipping me with great and transcendental faith are considered by me to be most perfect. Very clear answer. Krishna clearly says that who is worshipping the personal form and who worships him with faith and devotion, they are the most perfect in yoga. So it's not that they leave their work, like how we saw in chapter 5, we saw that whatever activity we are doing, we do it in Krishna consciousness. Sometimes he chants, sometimes he hears or reads book about Krishna, or sometimes he cooks prasadam, or goes to the marketplace to purchase something for Krishna, or sometimes he washes the temple or the dishes. Whatever he does not let a single moment pass without devoting his activities to Krishna. Such action is in full samadhi. So when we see devotees doing things, like when you see devotees are in Harinam, the way they're singing and dancing, we will think this is all that they do because they're in full samadhi, full excitement, full happiness. And then you see the person cooking for Krishna, you will think, wow, he's this is what he's best at. But it is just that he is in samadhi, always constantly thinking of Krishna. Then when we see devotees taking prasadam, then we will think like, how they take so much prasadam. Even they're not worried about the diet, they're not worried about anything. They just eat how much prasadam can you have. They think like that. So whatever the devotee does, the materialistic people wonder that this is all what they're doing. That's why people generally see us chanting and dancing in the street. Then they will say, oh, you Hare Krishna? What do you do? Simply sing and dance. Do you know what taking responsibility in life is? But they don't see how much we do other times. They don't realize that we get up at 4 o'clock and then attend Mangalarti, then chanting japa, all those. No? So that is samadhi. Whatever we are doing it in full Krishna consciousness. So it looks like this is all what we are doing. Okay, now the qualities of the impersonal Brahman. Those who fully worship the unmanifested, that which lies beyond the perception of the senses, 2 qualities, all pervading, 3rd one, inconceivable, unchanging, fixed, and immovable, the impersonal conception of the absolute truth. By controlling the various senses and being equally disposed to everyone, such person engaged in the welfare of all at last achieve me. Where is it given this in the 9th chapter, no? How when Krishna says at last achieve me, what is Krishna saying? At last means how many years is this at last? You do all this, controlling senses, equally disposed to everyone, engaged in the welfare of all. How many years we have to do that? 2 years, 3 years? How many years do you think?
I don't think there's any time limit.
Many lifetimes? Many lifetimes? I don't know.
Yes. Yeah, what
Okay.
does Krishna say in 9th chapter? Many births, bahunam janmanam. Did you learn the shlokas? I don't know if that is there for your by hearting. Bahunam janmanam ante jnanavan mam prapadyade. After so many lifetimes, what will he understand? Vasudeva sarvamiti. Everything is Vasudeva. So being in the worshipping the unmanifested, the Brahman effulgence and everything, how many lifetimes? After many, many lifetimes, finally they will accept Vasudeva Sarvamiti. So this Vasudeva is a person because Vasudeva is a son of Vasudeva. Is a person. Then they will become a personalist. Then for those whose minds are attached to the unmanifested impersonal feature of the Supreme, advancement is very troublesome. Kleshodhigadarastesha. Because it is impersonal, unmanifested. Like before, if you get a land and if you're building a house there, it's easy to love the land or the house. Land, okay, my land, that's all. But then you have a beautiful house standing, then you feel, okay, this is mine. We have some connection with that. So the same way, when it is unmanifested, it's very difficult to have some attachment or to progress in that relationship. No relationship possible also. To make progress in that discipline is always difficult. for those who are embodied, because all our connections are with something which has a form. And then here we have to love something which doesn't have a form. Where in history have we learned that? I love the light in the room. There's a light and I can just look at the light. How long? So that's why Krishna is telling, kleshodhikatarastesham, troublesome, very troublesome. This to follow the impersonalism is very troublesome. And what happens? There's no heart there. There's no relationship. So actually, we may think that we are all personalist. No, actually, we are all by nature impersonalist. That is why we find it very difficult to love Krishna. After millions of lifetimes of being cheated by persons, we don't want to put our faith in something which is a person. So we are very comfortable impersonal. I think, yes, bro.
It's also difficult because you're not getting Krishna to accelerate your progress that way.
Actually, Krishna is doing, but we don't see.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhupada says, if you take one step, Krishna takes 10 steps. But by nature, we are so conditioned to think of the negative that we cannot see the positive. So Prabhupada explains about deity worship in this purport. That's why the deity worship is given, because we are by nature impersonalist. So just to get some reciprocation, get connection, deity worship is given. And Prabhupada explains how the mailboxes, we may find some mailboxes on the street. And when we put the letter there, it will go. But any old box or something which looks like a post box, we cannot put letter there. So the deity worship is like that we have Krishna's form, where Krishna is there in the Archa Vigraha. Then we serve the deities nicely for many years. Then we feel that connection. So we get the reciprocation, then it's easier to surrender. That way we progress in our Krishna consciousness. So the conclusion, but those who worship me, giving up all their activities unto me and being devoted to me without deviation, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me, having fixed their minds upon me, O son of Pritha, for them I'm the swift deliverer from the ocean of birth and death. Swift deliverer. We engage in devotional service and Krishna becomes the swift deliverer. Swift deliverer means we won't even realize how we get liberated. For a karmi or for a materialistic person, they are under the stringent rules of material nature. When they leave their body, they have to go to Yamaraj, their kingdom, and then they are prosecuted for all their actions. And even when they're leaving their body, they have to see all Yamaraj and the Yamadutas. And the Yamadutas come as a family. There's a black colored, like very, very scary, the dogs and they come as a family. The Yamadutas. It's not just men or women or this thing, men, women, children, dogs, everything will be there. So it's very scary. So when we can imagine when at the end of our life already there are bodily pains and discomfort, and then we are also have to see all these people who are putting the rope and then dragging us. It's very troublesome, very difficult. Now for a devotee, how it is, what is death like? For a devotee, death is more like in winter. Suppose you have a shawl or something, and then you reach home, like you went out, you had a shawl or a sweater, and then maybe the shawl that you put When you reach home, you just take it and put it. How we take that shawl and put it in the, maybe the sofa or somewhere, that is how easy for a devotee to leave their body. They'll just leave their body, boom, finished. And then with Krishna. And Prabhupada says, every day we sleep, but then we sleep, and when we wake up, we are in the same place. If one day when we sleep and wake up in Krishna's world, that is death for a devotee. So much easier. So that is why he's telling swift deliverer. And then, okay, if someone doesn't remember Krishna, Krishna will remember them. And here again, engaged in devotional service and always meditating upon me. Krishna doesn't tell about, oh, you should do the different yoga systems and slowly come to me. No, here is when we see that Bhakti Yoga means direct. We don't have to go to Karma Yoga, the Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, Ashtanga Yoga, all those processes need not be followed. Directly go to Bhakti. So this is the first part where Krishna speaks how Bhakti is superior to impersonalism. Then the second section is the progressive stages which we saw. Can I ask everyone to take turn and read each translation? So can someone read the translation of chapter 8, text 8?
Yeah.
Okay.
Just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and engage all your intelligence in me. Thus, you will live in me always without a doubt.
Thank you, Prabhu. So that's the first one. Maybe you can make a note of this. The first one is fixing mind in Krishna. So for a Hare Krishna, for devotees, it's very easier actually, because you just, Krishna's like Prabhupada is telling here, the devotee does not live in the material plane, he lives in Krishna. Holy name of the Lord and the Lord are non-different. Therefore, when a devotee chants Hare Krishna, Krishna has it and his internal potency are dancing on the tongue of the devotee. So by engaging in devotional service, like when he offers Krishna food, Krishna directly accepts these eatables, and the devotee becomes Krishnaized by eating the remnants. One who does not engage in such service cannot understand how this is so, although this is a process recommended in Bhagavad Gita and other Vedic literature. So even if it looks like Krishna is telling that just fix your mind upon me, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, engage all your intelligence in me, it looks like a big thing for a karmi. But in purport, Prabhupada is telling it's very easy for a devotee. Just chant Hare Krishna, do service for Krishna, we are already achieving that. But if that is not possible, what is the next option? Second one, please read. Anyone else who can read?
My dear Arjuna, O winner of wealth, your mind upon me without deviation, then follow the regulative principles of Bhakti Yoga. In this way, develop a desire to.
Thank you, Prabhu. Develop the desire to attain me. So this is the sadhana bhakti. We'll learn more about sadhana bhakti in Nectar of Devotion. We just follow. Prabhupada said, get up early. Prabhupada said, chant Hare Krishna 16 rounds. We may not have the attachment to chanting Hare Krishna in the beginning, but just because Prabhupada said, we do it. Or because we promised to our spiritual master, we do that. So that is sadhana bhakti. Whatever rules and regulations, following Ekadashi, oh, tomorrow is Ekadashi, oh, like that, but still we do it because that's what is given. So now Prabhupada speaks more about sadhana bhakti and importance of sadhana bhakti. Bhakti yoga is a purification of the senses. So we, by these regulated principles, we are actually setting ourselves free from the entanglement of the senses. It may look like I have to control something, I cannot do this, I cannot do that, but that actually relieves us from that attachment to the senses. Just like when we are, say, suppose we are drinking tea, or those who are taking drugs or smoking and all those, they're not free. They're actually more controlled by the cigarette or the drugs or the tea, coffee, whatever. So by the regulatory principles, what we are doing is we free ourselves from that control. But then people think that it is freedom to smoke anytime. When you join Hare Krishna, they tell you not to smoke, which means I don't have freedom. No, actually, it is getting us freedom. It is releasing us from that clutches of these. Like one day we don't get tea, we get a headache, and then everything is difficult. But by these regulatory principles, the sadhana bhakti, the spiritual master guides us. They tell about, okay, get up in the morning early, chant your rounds, do offering, do arti. So we just do all this because we were told. We don't get the taste for it. We still don't have the taste, but we just do it as regulated sadhana bhakti. But then one day we will experience that bliss. This practice of Bhakti Yoga, under the rules and regulations, with the direction of a spiritual master, will surely bring one to the stage of love of God. Hari Bol. Beautiful, no? Under rules and regulations, that means even sadhana bhakta can attain the stage of love of Godhead. Next one. If we can't follow that, then what is the next one? Please read.
If you cannot practice the regulations of Bhakti Yoga, then just try to work for me, because by working for me, you will come to the perfect stage.
Yes, if we can't follow regulative principles, just do whatever we are doing, just do it for Krishna. Yeah, so the only difference is that in materialism, one works for sense gratification. The same work, however, can be performed with the satisfaction of Krishna, and that is spiritual activity. This voluntary service to the cause of Krishna consciousness will help one to rise to a higher state of love of God, whereupon one becomes perfect. Yes, Bhavsinta Prabhu?
Sorry, Mataji, a question.
Yes, no problem.
It is again related to the one we were discussing. That you're a nimitta, right? So let's say if I'm working and I'm finding something very hard task for my job, let's say, but by applying this, if I'm doing that work for Krishna, so that let's say I earn money and do some seva, then that is what is mentioned here, right?
That is the next one.
That is the next one. Then what is it this here?
This one
then
is the graphic designer I mentioned.
or use your skills use your capacities in the service which is given.
Yes.
Which is given.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, Prabhupada mentions like give money also, but doing more activity.
Okay. But then this whatever we are doing in the material sense, activities like men mostly do jobs, so and those jobs could be difficult and we may fail in material world. It's very difficult and we face failures and success.
I have not heard of anyone who has been successful in material life.
Yes, exactly. So how that can be an offering, like, oh Krishna, this is my failure, I failed an interview and this is
No, we think, see, that's a different one, no?
Yeah.
Yeah, like how it is you have done many years in university learning something.
Yeah.
That you use in Krishna's service. So the job is just to pay the bill, not like the karmi who thinks that that is my whole thing in life. How I can go to the next level, next level. No, devotee is not like that. We are using that skill in Krishna's service also. At least that. Like here, what we see is like some people, they can leave everything and join the temple, for example. And then there are the greater population who is thinking that, no, that is not for me. And there are thousands of people who want to take up Krishna consciousness, but not able to join the temple, and they don't know what to do otherwise because they have not read the Gita. So they think that if I am not joining the temple, that means I have to be in Maya. But here Krishna is telling, no, it's not that everyone joins the temple. Even if you're not joining the temple, you can use your skills in Krishna's service. It is not that, it's not about interview failure. Interview means, yes, I am doing this for Krishna. Then, like how we were discussing earlier, Abhijit Prabhu was telling again about this preaching aspect. Why do we go to office? To preach. To do work.
Okay.
Krishna, maybe there is one soul waiting there to know about Krishna, and they may not come to the temple, but to Krishna, we are going everywhere as ambassadors of Krishna then. And that is what Lord Chaitanya has said, Yare dekho tare kaho Krishna Upadesh. So by Prabhupada's mercy, we can be Krishna conscious every moment. But if in case that is not possible, okay, you work in a firm, whatever you are doing, but whatever skills you have acquired, please use it in Krishna's service. Like I met a person now recently, and he was telling me that he has started a business, and so he's busy with that. He's not able to chant, or he's not able to fully take up Krishna consciousness. Then I was asking, what do you do? What is that new company? And then he explained to me the whole thing, what he's doing. So they create this, when we go to the website, you have got that chat, the bot chatting. So he was telling that is what he does. He's got a company where he provides this chat bot, and it can also connect to the customer care. Different options are there. So then when he was explaining to me all this, then I said, okay, can we do something? Can we have a website where there is an option of, for someone who is really difficulty with mental health, or they're thinking of giving up their body, but they just need some help, can we have a chat bot created for that? He said, yes, I can do that, because we already have the system in place. You just give me a website, I'll connect everything for you, and you tell me to which phone number it has to connect. So you see how he has used his skill in Krishna's service. He was thinking that, okay, I cannot be Krishna conscious because I am doing something material. But then he was so happy to know that that can be used in Krishna's service. So that is what Krishna is telling here. Is that clear, Prabhu?
Yes, Manjari. Thank you.
Yeah, so the next one, if we are not able to work in this consciousness, then what do? We give up all the results of the work for Krishna. Yeah, so we work, we get the money, give it for some preaching activities, give for some Krishna conscious things, or then serve prasadam to devotees, something. In that way, we purify our mind that this is not mine. We can get detached. Okay, if one decides to sacrifice for the supreme cause, even if he does not know that the supreme cause is Krishna, he will come gradually to understand that Krishna is a supreme cause by the sacrificial method. So in this case, it's sacrifice. He is sacrificing the results of his activities. And then 12, if that is also not possible, then engage in the cultivation of knowledge. But better than knowledge is meditation. Better than meditation is renunciation of the fruits of action. So slowly. So this is the 12 is the that section, which is talking about, yeah. Okay, how to worship, Jnana Yogi, Bhakti Yogi, this we saw. Okay, I'll send you this whatever we read, it is as a tabular column. Yes, Sohail.
Krishna.
Yes, Paul.
I wanted to ask, so how would you put meditation and chanting in perspective when it says better than meditation is renunciation of fruits of action?
Mhm.
So what does it mean by that? Is that better than chanting rounds, or is it
Chanting rounds
or
is
is it
pure devotion, no? This is, see, the better than knowledge is meditation. See, here we saw, no? Try to be self-situated. That is meditation. See, here in meditation, you do not know that the supreme cause is Krishna. In chanting, we know Krishna is the supreme. Meditation is like you meditate in nothing, you meditate on a light or that kind, no, or meditate on the tip of your nose, that kind of meditation.
is that referring to like Astanga yoga basically?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, not chanting Hare Krishna. That's pure devotional service.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so this is, yeah, you're seeing the PowerPoint slide.
Yes, Mother.
Yeah. So from the lower stage, which is the most indirect, because we saw that they don't know that they're meditating on Krishna. They don't know that what the Jnani who's reading is about Krishna. That's a lower stage, and then goes to the topmost stage, which is direct, is always meditating on Krishna. This is 8 to 12. Okay. Then now we come to third section, which is the characteristics. Remember, we saw the third section, 13 to 20, qualities that endear one to Krishna. What are the qualities? So that we will see now, different qualities that Krishna likes. So first we will read from the verses and then we'll see the summary. Do you want to write down what all points you get from here? I'll give you 5 minutes time. There is just 13, there are 7 verses. Go through the translation. Right, yeah. Then write down all the qualities that you can see. List it one by one. Okay? Yeah. 5 minutes.
This last 7 verses or okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. It's like having breakout rooms. Time is over, coming back. Yes, there are a lot. There are many qualities, but these are very good to meditate upon. Okay, so let's start from the first verse, that is, we are in 13. Yes. What's the first quality? Many of them are self-explanatory. Yeah. Well, can someone say what are the qualities you found in 13? Maybe yes,
the first one, one who is a kind friend to all living entities.
Yes. First one is who's not envious. Not envious to anyone. Then nor like how Yudhishthira Maharaj, Ajata Shatru. There's no one he doesn't have any enemy. Many may think of him as the enemy, but he doesn't think of that his enemy's enemy. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
He doesn't become the enemy's enemy. That is what we shouldn't be. We don't have enemy, we won't become enemy's enemy also. So for a devotee, this is the guiding light. What is that? Tattenu kampam susamit shamano. 10:14:8. That whatever is happening in our life is a result of our Tatenukam. Krishna is helping us to remember him. Sachi Kumar Prabhu?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, Mother, with the different Varna and Ashram situations, if somebody is has the nature that we call Kshatriya, they're in that administration, the pure mode of passion, it occurs as though they may well need to do that. Like maybe even Arjuna had to discriminate between friends and enemies.
Yeah, see, Yudhishthira, this example is of Yudhishthira, no? Ajata Shatru. He never had any enemy. No enemy is yet born for Yudhishthira. Then who was Duryodhana? Duryodhana considered Yudhishthira as his enemy. Yudhishthira didn't consider Duryodhana as his enemy. If that makes sense. Doing duty is different. Doing our duty doesn't mean that we have to consider a person as enemy or friend. A person at our workplace is neither a friend nor an enemy. If you're negotiating for business, you're not thinking the other person is your enemy. What is needed, we do. Like we experience it in our Krishna consciousness, how to do competition without being envious. Prabhupada says, what is envy, or whom we think of an enemy is someone whom we are envious about. If you want something bad to happen for the other person, that is enviousness. But here it is not like that. We just do our duty. When we go on books, we are not like we are not thinking that the other person should do bad. We are just thinking we want to do better, if in case. How do we know that? Recently, about His Holiness Gopal Krishna Maharaj, they were saying that Gopal Krishna Maharaj's temple is Delhi. And the Sankirtan leader of Mayapur asked Gopal Krishna Maharaj, please bless that we will come first in December marathon. And then Maharaj said, you have all my blessings. And then Maharaj went back to Delhi and said, I have given my blessings to Mayapur, so you better work harder. See, so to excel, you don't have to win over your enemy. In Krishna consciousness, everyone can win. So even when Kshatriya, Yudhishthira Maharaj, he didn't think Duryodhana as his enemy. He just went by the principles of that ashram or the varna. Is it clear, Prabhu?
Yes, okay.
Yeah,
I'll just
theoretically.
hear from you, Mother. I don't hearing,
Yeah.
I think, is the thing here. Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah. So we cannot relate to it because that's not very easily seen these days. Because there are not even Kshatriyas now. Prabhupada says that when all the people went to fight in Mahabharata war, were they crying and going? No. They were happy. In the beginning, Krishna tells, no? Happy are those people who get a chance to fight. So that is a Kshatriya. We don't even see Kshatriyas now. But actual Kshatriya, and how do we know that they were not enemies? In Mahabharata war, how did it happen? During the day, they are fighting. And at night time, what do? They come together, have fun. No problem. At night, no one killed each other. But we cannot understand that now when they don't even discriminate, killing children or women, nothing. It wasn't about putting a bomb in the enemy's place. That is enemy, that you consider the other person as enemy. In normal war, that in the evening, there is no enmity. Daytime, you fight. In Mahabharata, we can see that. People shift from one side to another also. Still they work because that envy is not there. It's just the dharma they fight. It's very difficult to realize it now. And one devotee was telling that when were the British able to conquer India? Only when they started this gun. The gun or, the hiding and killing. And that the Kshatriya kings couldn't relate. They said, I would rather die than hide and kill a person. And that's when they started conquering the country. Till then, they couldn't. So that is Kshatriya dharma. There's a way Kshatriya works. Or like when someone comes as a messenger, you don't kill them. They give the best facility. That is non-envious. Okay. So, okay, fine. So the first one, not envious, kind friend to all living entities. Then what is the next one? Quickly, if you can say. We won't be able to go details of each one. Some are there in the purport. Some are self-explanatory.
Yeah, he doesn't think himself a proprietor.
Yes, he understands that Krishna is the proprietor of everything. Then the next one.
Equal in both happiness and distress.
Equal in, yes, that's why these verses are important. When we are feeling very sad and distress, we just see, then do I want to be very dear to Krishna? Yes, then don't be sad when in material distress. Okay, next one.
Is that one there also free from false ego? That's a separate quality.
Yes, free from false ego. Yes, very good. Yes, always functioning as servant of Krishna. Then tolerant. Then
satisfied, self-controlled, and engaged in devotional service.
With
determination. Yeah.
Determination. Maybe some difficulties will be there, but will still continue with the determination. Then mind and intelligence fixed in Krishna. Such a devotee of mine is very dear to me. So then, why? Because the Lord is pleased with all his activities in full Krishna consciousness. Next one.
He doesn't put anyone in difficulty.
Ah, yes. Yes. The devotee will never put even an ant into difficulty. Like Prabhupada, when he saw that bug, he said, okay, give some food to eat for the bug. He doesn't want to see anyone. Even when he put a cockroach outside the window, what did Prabhupada say? Did he say, get out of my room? You know, what did Prabhupada say when he threw the cockroach out of the room?
I don't remember, but is it something like, now you have the whole world or something?
Yes, now you have the whole world to enjoy. So he didn't think of throwing the cockroach out, but liberating the cockroach from that small room to the whole world. Then, next one.
Not disturbed.
Not disturbed by anyone. Then, yeah.
Equipoised.
Equipoised in happiness and distress, fear and anxiety is very dear to me. Okay. So not disturbed by anything. It is not disturbed and will not give any disturbance to others. Then next quality.
Not dependent on the ordinary course of activities.
Yes. That is like not working so hard to get some money and then build this, build that, not planning like that. Then what's the next one?
Aksha.
Pure, expert, without cares, free from all pains, and not striving for some result. So the not striving for some result means the devotee will not strive for some material result too much. That means like they won't, sometimes people spend their whole life in this material things, like how Prabhupada is telling here that constructing a big building requires great energy, and a devotee does not take to such business if it does not benefit him by advancing his devotional service. He may construct a temple for the Lord, and for that he may take all kinds of anxiety, but he does not construct a big house for his personal relations. People may build a big house thinking, okay, when guests come, devotees come, we can host them, so we can have a good house. But then not for my own sense gratification, they don't think. Yes, Sohil Prabhu?
Hare Krishna. I wanted to get a bit of clarification on without cares. What does it mean by without cares?
This, like whatever comes on its own accord, that is accepted.
Right. Okay.
So yeah.
Whatever comes.
So yeah, and then here you see a devotee never takes a part of a particular party, therefore he is carefree.
Okay.
So yeah, so not taking side. Yeah, this is practical in our thing also, that someone will say, like, if there are two things happening, one will say, oh, this is right, that is right. So much debates happen in the society. What is how is, for example, Brexit? So many people reading so much about, where at that time reading about Brexit, oh, Brexit this, Brexit that, Brexit that, Brexit that. But devotee doesn't care for it. Because anything has to happen, it is happening. They will understand about it, but they don't take so much of struggle to prove one party is right or anything. So that is carefree. Not that, oh, carefree means, okay, if I don't finish my 16 rounds, it's okay. No, not that kind. Okay, that's why we need an acharya to explain what it means. Okay. Yes, next one. One who neither rejoices nor grieves, who neither laments nor desires, and who renounces both auspicious and inauspicious things. Such a devotee is very dear to me. it's all about material things. It's not about Krishna consciousness. Rejoices nor grieves. Like if we are happy when Krishna is happy, when devotees are happy. We are sad when we in separation from a devotee. So yeah, so in material things there is no. We see that. No, I saw once. In the temple room, Murli Prabhu had come and then he was looking for something. I said, Prabhu, you lost something. And he said, yeah, I can't find my phone. And then I was like, okay, let's see. And then he said, yeah, it will be somewhere. I'll just go and see whether I left it in my ashram. He wasn't like normal people. Oh, my phone. Oh, think of a materialistic person, what they will do if they lost their phone. That is where we see how a devotee is. And like a devotee is not so much desiring, oh, can I get this? Can I get that? Sometimes people come and give to the devotees in the temple. No, do you want that? No. I don't think I need it now. And then they don't take. It's not like accumulate, that they don't do. Brahminical quality. So the devotees, they're not lamenting when they lose something material or so much desiring something. And before they desire, Krishna will give. That's another thing. But they don't overly desire, oh, I need this and meditate on that. All those things they don't do. Then, yeah, and auspicious, inauspicious. That's why when Prabhupada also, there are certain auspicious and inauspicious times in the day. But Prabhupada didn't look at that. Okay, now it is not an auspicious time to travel, let me not travel. Oh, now it is an auspicious time, let me do that. Prabhupada didn't check that. And Prabhupada didn't go by that. So devotee is not bothered about all those things. Okay. Then 1819, this is the main. Some of them. Yes, wasn't first one. Worth meditating.
Equal friends and enemies.
Yeah, equal to friends and enemies. And then who's equipoised in honor and dishonor. This helps so much because we really struggle with this one. Whenever we struggle with this, just remember this verse. Samashatraucha mitreja tadha mana apamanayo ke tadha mana apamanayo. If I'm disturbed by this dishonor, I'm not being dear to Krishna. So let me tolerate. In that way, we will build that quality. Heat and cold, very much applicable in this country here. The devotee, the people will say, before coming to Krishna consciousness, so much discussion about the weather. Oh, the temperature is this today. Oh, it is so cold today. Oh, so it is. For devotee, no time to think about it and discuss about how hot, how cold, and all this. Then happiness and distress, same thing. No time for the devotee because focused on serving Krishna. This is also fame and infamy. When we get the credit, it doesn't matter. They don't give the credit, it is okay. We are not doing service for someone else to appreciate us. Free from contaminating association. The devotee always keeps away from this contaminating association. Always silent and satisfied with anything. Who doesn't care for any residence, who is fixed in knowledge, engaged in devotional service. All these qualities.
Krishna, sorry, can I ask a question?
Yes, please.
Free from contaminating association. So when we preach, how do we do? Because we have to be friends with the people. And then
yes. Very good. When we are preaching, we don't take their association, we give our association to them. So we don't sit and listen to what they are like. We do hear from them as much as we need to help them, but not sit and take their association. That's why we engage them in service, we engage them in reading. Let us read together, let's chant together. Not that we sit with them and hear whatever they have to say. Little bit is okay, but not beyond. Okay, so such a person is very dear. So Prabhupada says, one who wants to be recognized as a devotee should develop the good qualification. Of course, he does not extraneously endeavor to acquire these qualifications, but engagement in Krishna consciousness and devotional service automatically helps him develop them. Just by chanting Hare Krishna, doing service, we will be able to get all these qualifications. And very, very dear. Till now, it was very dear. And who is a very, very dear? Those who follow this imperishable path of devotional service and who completely engage themselves with faith, making me the supreme goal, are very, very dear to me. So then there's a summary. So we can read the summary, which is this purport is a summary of this chapter. So should I call the name of someone whose video is off? I don't want to embarrass anyone. Okay, please.
We're all listening, Mother.
Okay, like don't say we are all, because we don't know.
You're hoping to be listening.
Yeah, some are listening, some are not. We don't know. Anyway, I'm not even thinking who's there in the video, like was video off. Okay. Yes, please, someone can read this purport.
Shall I read it, Mataji?
Yes, please. Yes, yes.
In this chapter, from verse 2 through the end, from Maya Aveshya Mano Ye Mam, fixing the mind on me, through Ye Tu Dharmamritam Midam, this religion of eternal engagement, the Supreme Lord has explained the processes of transcendental service for approaching Him. Such processes are very dear to the Lord, and He accepts a person engaged in them. The question of who is better, one who is engaged in the path of impersonal Brahman, or one who is engaged in the personal service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, was raised by Arjuna. And the Lord replied to him so explicitly that there is no doubt that devotional service to the Personality of Godhead is the best of all processes of spiritual realization. In other words, in this chapter, it is decided that through good association, one develops attachment for pure devotional service and thereby accepts a bona fide spiritual master, and from him begins to hear and chant and observe the regulative principles of devotional service with faith, attachment, and devotion, and thus becomes engaged in the transcendental service of the Lord. This path is recommended in this chapter. Therefore, there is no doubt that devotional service is the only absolute path for self-realization, for the attainment of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The impersonal conception of the Supreme Absolute Truth is described in this chapter is recommended only up to the time one surrenders himself for self-realization. In other words, as long as one does not have the chance to associate with the pure devotee, the impersonal conception may be beneficial. In the impersonal conception of the Absolute Truth, one works without fruitative result, meditates and cultivates knowledge to understand spirit and matter. This is necessary as long as one is not in the association of a pure devotee. Fortunately, if one develops directly a desire to engage in Krishna consciousness in pure devotional service, he does not need to undergo step-by-step improvements in spiritual realization. Devotional service, as described in the middle 6 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, is more congenial. One need not bother about materials to keep body and soul together, because by the grace of the Lord, everything is carried out automatically.
Thank you so much, Mataji. So here it is talking about the devotional service, how it is a direct method, And we don't have to follow all this thing. And also Prabhupada explains about accepting spiritual master and then starting Shravanam, Kirtanam, observing the regulative principles, and then automatically we will achieve all the results that we need to. Okay, so yeah. Yes, so with this one point in these qualities that we mentioned, there is essential qualities and Tatastha Lakshana, which is the ancillary, which is not the important one. Essential is a Swarupa Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana is devotional service as an essential quality. That's why the other one, Prabhupada said, if you do devotional service, all the others will come. So that is the Tatastha Lakshana. Swarupa Lakshana means which is there, which is the, without that you are not that. Like when you say a dog has a tail, that's a Swarupa Lakshana. But then the dog has a coat, because people may put a coat for a dog. That is Tatastha Lakshana. Okay, the dog with the coat. But coat is not the Swarupa Lakshana, it is a Tatastha Lakshana. Is that clear? This is from Bhagavatam. In the beginning of Bhagavatam, we will hear that. So the point is devotional service. That is the essential quality. Doing devotional service to the Lord. And automatically we will overcome this being enviousness, being envious, or we know in the beginning, before we came to Krishna consciousness, how we were worried about things, how we were working hard to achieve things, all those has changed now. No? So like that. Okay, and then all those qualities. So those are different categories and what the different ones. Then we read all this. Okay, dealings with the Lord. So dealing with ourselves, dealing with others, how we react in certain situation, all the categories Krishna has given. Okay. Then the last one, dearest is who follows this pure devotional service, completely engage themselves with faith and making me as a supreme goal of their life. That's all Krishna is asking, and that is pure devotional service. Okay, so that's the last verse of the 12th chapter. Okay. So with that, we come to the module 2. And what is the OBA for this one? Someone has started working on it. It's there in your, this thing, no? The portal. Anyone has checked?
What's the question, Mother? OBA?
What is the assignment, no, that you have?
Oh, essay.
Essay, yeah. You have the question? It's already there, no? You have already discussed, right?
I haven't looked into it, to be honest.
Okay, I'll stop the recording now.